textures are something that are really good and tasty to eat. So this is what it looks like once after we've emulsified the oil into the water and it comes out. You can see how thick and creamy it is. So what is wonderful about this is that basically after we put it through this machine, it's called a Pacojet, which is basically, it's another machine that is utilized for ice cream specifically, but it basically purees frozen blocks of ice into a very smooth texture. And what we have is gelato that's vegan. So, you know when somebody, one of your vegan friends gives you something vegan, and maybe it's okay, maybe there's vegans here, and that's fine. But you usually go, it's good for vegan, but this is good because it's good. And that is one of the things that we really strive to work towards, which is making food that is going to be good regardless of who the intended audience is for that. So when we have a gelato like this, I mean, it's vegan, but it's not low fat by any means. It's 36% fat. But we can make other ice creams like this, like all of the ones that you see here. There's peanut butter, there's macadamia nut, there's a strawberry one that we utilize. Actually, we utilize macadamia nuts, untoasted, as a background to our strawberry ice cream to create that soft, rich texture of the ice cream. So, so you can have your cake and eat it too, so to speak, because there is a way of making gelato a lot more flavorful. When I've made pistachio gelato, I've typically made toasted pistachios steeped into heavy cream. You strain that and you get some of the pistachio taste in there. With this, there's no doubt as to the fact that this is a pistachio ice cream. Next, we're going to talk about something that has probably stumped a lot of people, and that is how to cook a perfectly cooked steak. So, what happens typically? We have, with conventional cooking, sauté pan, a little bit of oil, medium-high heat, you sear both sides, and what you have is this. And what is this? This is basically a 43% overcooked piece of meat. How did that happen? Because in order for you to get that medium rare at the core of your steak, the outside has to overcook. So how does that make sense? I mean, this is not something that is really pleasurable to eat, and you're going to be basically chewing on a shoe. So the solution for this is called sous vide cooking. So basically, water is one of the best conductors of heat, if not the best conductor of heat. So what we do is we put the food inside a bag, sealed tight, it's a vacuum, and then the water is set to a specific temperature. If you want medium rare, we go to about 53, 54 degrees Celsius. 1 hour, you have a perfectly sous vide cooked steak. It looks like this. Notice, if we go back here, the gray area in our steak, but here, it's mostly red. And you see basically the side-by-side, it's no contest. So this is basically one of the fastest, most efficient ways of cooking a steak. Centrifuge peas, this is one of the dishes that we're constantly evolving, but this is the first way that we used to plate this dish. You see how deep green that pea paste is, and this is not just pureed peas. So we start with this ingredient. Now, so many people will go, are those frozen peas from the grocery store? Yes. Why is this a good thing? Because most of the companies, and this company in particular, what they do is, these peas are frozen in the field. So within hours of being harvested, they're immediately frozen, which is a lot fresher than any pea you're going to get at the farmer's market, because this was basically frozen in time. So what we get is very fresh, very flavorful peas. This is our centrifuge machine. I mean, this is about the size of a dishwasher, right? It's pretty big. So we're able to centrifuge large quantities of product. And this is what basically the pea puree looks like before it goes in. It's just green and even. It's a beautiful color, but once it comes out, you see how things have separated. A centrifuge, most centrifuges spin at around 10,000 RPMs, and what that means is 30,000 Gs of force. That creates a lot of force in this particular puree. So you can see here 3 distinct layers. The first is a pea broth. It is so flavorful. For me, it's one of the most delicious liquids I've had. The pea butter, and pea starch. I should remark that the pea butter is not really butter, but it's so smooth and it's so pure that it feels like butter in your tongue. It is such a thin layer though, we need about 5 pounds of peas to produce about 8 to 10 portions. And then this is basically how we harvest it from the jar. We essentially have to scrape it out of the jar. You see the color? It's like one of the deepest, greenest colors I've ever seen. And beyond that, it is incredible. It's like the soul of the pea. Okay? We do the same thing with corn. Corn has a very similar reaction to centrifuging. You get the corn juice, we get the corn butter, and we get the corn starch. And we utilize all these three things in our dishes, by the way. So you can see here, this is what our dish looks like presently. We are currently serving it in this presentation. What it is a, we make a pod out of a dough that we make with spinach